And then you've got more of the high-tech ones like this Mega Bass SD3 that's got this fish head design and hand-tied skirts and fancy skirt and really high-quality blades and, you know, ball bearings in it. So basically the only thing that's changing it is the quality of the components. Now, I just want to sort of go over and have a broad discussion on how I fish spinnerbaits and what I like to look for on them, and talk a little bit about, you know, the types of spinnerbaits. Now, primarily, you're going to have two different types of spinnerbaits. You're going to have a Colorado bladed or an Indiana blade. Now, Indiana blade is sort of like a Colorado, except it's a little bit more teardrop shape. And then you've got a willow leaf blade. Now, the difference between the two is the Colorado blade is going to have less flash and it's going to have more vibration, and the willow leaf is going to have less vibration and more flash. So these are situational. You know, for most of the park guys, I'm using a Colorado or an Indiana bladed spinnerbait in off-colored or dirty water. I very seldom use a Colorado bladed spinnerbait or an Indiana blade if the water visibility is over, you know, say 1.5 feet or so. This is the spinnerbait that I use for water visibility, is usually less than 1.5 feet, you know. And then the willow leaf, you know, anything over 1.5 feet visibility, I've got the willow leaf on. Also, one of the things you're going to notice with a Colorado blade is you can't reel it as fast without it laying off to the side. So a Colorado bladed spinnerbait is designed more for a slow rolling presentation. But a willow leaf blade, the design of it, since it's more aerodynamic, you can fish it really fast across the surface with a burn and retrieve and vary the retrieve up quite a bit on it. So that's the general characteristics. Now, some of the differences on it are the blade sizes. Now, blades come in a lot of different sizes. You can see here, this is a number 6 Hildebrandt blade here, and this is like a little number 3. And depending upon what you're after, you know, you're using all different type of blade sizes. I have got a blade box, guys, with tons of different blades in it as far as different sizes and colors. Now, there's only 2 colors I really use in the flashy kinds, the gold and the silver, and then I will use some painted blades like a white or a chartreuse one. But the size of the blade that I'm using, it depends on the technique that I'm fishing. Now, if I'm fishing the spinnerbait fast through the water column, like up high where I'm reeling it pretty fast, I'm going with the smaller willow leaf blades. And if I'm fishing it a little bit slower, what's called the slow roll presentation, I'm going to the bigger blades. Also, the time of the year will have a determination on the size of the spinnerbait and the blade. Now, based upon the length of your wire, the profile of the spinnerbait can be big or large. And, you know, on a big spinnerbait like this with a big number 6 willow leaf blade,